We have a very special guest here today, Riley Reid. I'm just gonna jump right in. So you are a wife and a mother now, which those are two huge deals, obviously. I want to ask what it's like balancing those two things with your work in the industry.
Well, being in the adult industry definitely has like certain negative implications for sure that affect the way that I parent. One of those simplest things is I sadly don't get the luxury in what I think it would be a luxury because I don't get to go to my daughter's like ballet classes or take her to any of her classes or things. And I don't go for the sole point of her not having any different side of social treatments or people treating her differently or behaving towards me in a certain manner in front of her. So there are certain parts of her life that I separate myself so that she could have her own identity and her own experiences that are specifically hers and have no side effects of me and how people will behave towards me around her. So there's certain implications and things that I do like that. I try to be very intentional, as you could tell, something as simple as that.
Yeah.
I really think about how every decision and choice that I can make will affect her. And I try really hard to make what I think is the best well-rounded choice. I go to her recitals. So when it's a big show at an auditorium, I go, but I don't go to things like that so that I'm not affecting her ability of, socialization and being in society. Even when it comes to like certain play dates or things like that, when it comes to like play dates with her classmates or stuff, those are all things that like my nanny will handle. I won't handle it myself, just for the simple fact of not affecting how the parents will interact with my daughter or treat her. So I try to be very mindful of giving her her own identity and her own life that isn't a result of me. I do like a parenting style that's called Montessori. So everything that I do is like catered towards having the child be a part of our everyday life. So for example, I put art on the wall that's low, so it's eye level for her, so she doesn't have to look up and see the art. She sees it because it's eye level to her. I do things like that, so our whole household is accessible to her so that she doesn't need an adult to get things done. She can cut her own bananas, she can make herself a breakfast, she can do all these things herself because she has the house set up for her to be able to be independent. But yeah, overall, I think like being a mother has changed the way and shape as I am as a human itself, and everything that I do now. I've always wanted to be a voice for adult porn. I've always wanted to be a voice that shows like you can own your body, you can own your career, you can have a say in what you want, you can have fun while you do it, and that we are so much more than just this sexy porn star. We're fun, we're smart, we're charismatic, we can have a business, we can have a family, and having my daughter has helped me kind of elevate that self part of myself to show her that I can be more than a porn star and show her that I'm not just what society tells me, I am what I tell myself.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
those things are really important to me. And I feel grateful to have a taboo job in order to show her that I'm the definition of myself, not my title.
That's an incredible first answer. Now I want to talk about your husband a little bit.
Yeah.
So you actually slid into his DMs, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Now I'm curious, like, was that a romantic move? Like, were you immediately like, okay, I'm attracted to this person, or was this sort of just like a feeler, like, okay, we're gonna see what this is about?
No, that was also very intentional. I was kind of stalking him for a little bit. I thought he was like really sexy, and I felt like I really liked the way he presented himself on his social media because I don't like when guys like take like those hot boy photos and stuff like that.
Right,
They take
right.
their shirts off and they're all sexy or whatever.
Yeah.
He was like, I remember he had photos where he'd like pulled his pants up like all the way up to here and was like being all like nerdy. And I was like, that's the kind of guy that I'm looking for, where he's sexy, but he's not using his sex appeal to get him in far in life. He's using his humor, his charisma. And then he posted on his story a book. It's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I also read this book, and that was my way in because I wanted to DM him, but I didn't. I'm a porn star. So anytime I DM any guy, it's instantly going to be like, ooh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
just like horny. So I was like, how can I, make myself like bookish and
yeah,
not so highly sexualized. I needed to slightly desexualize myself in this
right.
first interaction. So I responded with a book, and I was like, I read that book too. It was so great. It's like helped me change my life and like blah blah blah. And then we started talking, and then I planned like the collab day. So that way it wasn't like a date, it wasn't romantic. And that way it was still able for us to kind of like get to know each other. But I knew that I was interested in him. Eventually he made a move on me after a couple dates. And then, and now here we are married and everything. And
I
I
love
feel really grateful. My husband has this friend named Stas who said this amazing thing that I always think about it. And when my husband and I first started dating, and he was really nervous about dating me, and he wasn't sure, and he was really worried about like what people thought and how people would, perceive him and everything, because I'm a porn star. And his friend Stas said, people are going to think you're stupid if you date her, and people are going to think you're stupid if you don't date her. So you get to decide what stupid you want to be.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was like, I love this man. Like
yeah.
the fact that his friend was so supportive, and also really putting it in perspective of like, it doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is how you feel.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, that's amazing.
Thank
Now I
you.
want to go back a little bit. So did you started out as a dancer, right? Like
Mhm.
way back when. What was that transition like going from club dancing to, just shooting adult videos?
I started off as a dancer. For me, I'm from Miami. I grew up like going to all age clubs, like, nude beaches. The energy there is very naked and sexual.
Right.
And so that's just that Latin fever of the Miami heat. And so that's where I grew up. And I've always been around this kind of energy. And so I was already at clubs dancing with like thong on and everything. And so I crashed my car and I needed some fast money. And I was already going to the strip clubs just like for fun. So I knew that they had these Wednesday game nights where you could win a bunch of money. So I needed to win money. And so I did the game, or I tried, I didn't win. And so I started working at the club, and I found it where I was like really bad at it. I'm so social. Look at how easy it is for me to talk. You've asked me 3 questions and I'm talking so fucking much. Like, I like people and
Yeah,
I just have fun. I'm super social.
yeah,
And so I called myself a dolphin, not a shark. Like when I go to those
yeah.
strip clubs, the guys saw that they could, like take advantage of me because they're like, oh, the stripper will hang out and we don't have to pay her. She's just gonna hang out with me. And so like it was really common. I think the most money I made one night was like $80. So I was like, I make more money working at McDonald's than I did as a
Yeah,
stripper.
yeah.
So I was like, I'm not good at this. I'm not a hustler. So like I need to leave this. And I was gonna go back to a regular kind of job. And one of the girls was like, why don't you try porn? And I was like, that's crazy. I was an extra in my first 5 scenes.
Okay.
And then I saw how beautiful it was, how it was really horny, it was sexy, it was legit. There's paperwork and tests and da 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 and everything. And I was like, oh, like this is like really legit. I want to do this. And it was mostly out of like experimentation and horniness and money, but it was also
Right.
like I was also horny and into it because obviously I started as an extra, so I didn't start off like doing the hardcore stuff. So I kind of got my senses in, and I felt it out, and I really enjoyed it, and then I just kept shooting, and I really enjoyed it. I kind of set like small goals for myself. I thought that I was gonna just be in porn for the first 5 years, and then I was going to retire, but I ended up winning some awards on my 5th year. That's when I became Female Performer of the Year, and I got my Fleshlight contract. And so that's when I felt like my career had just like really started. So I was like, I can't quit now. There's still so much like that I can do because of like, look at where I am now at 5 years, and like,
Yeah.
and success is just growing. Obviously there's negatives, but I feel like that's in every single job and in every everywhere you go, you're going to experience the negatives of,
Yeah.
you know, being a person, being existing and being alive. And so I don't ever really group porn into these negative experiences. I think that that's just humanity. And so I feel really grateful for all of the opportunities that I've been presented. And I feel really grateful for myself and being able to have the brain that I have to be able to allow myself to go gracefully and easily without putting myself in situations that I'm not super comfortable in.
You've won the awards. You're in the XRCO Hall of Fame, the AVN Hall of Fame. Are there
Yeah.
other goals that you still like to accomplish in your career?
I think within porn, I am like really content on where I am. I think that my next steps are doing something like kind of related to porn, but not in porn. So I really want to do like a cartoon that's based off of people in porn. I
Oh,
think that
yeah.
would be amazing. It's brilliant. It doesn't exist. People
Yeah.
love porn. People will consume this. And so
Right.
it's like, I know that this show would be amazing. So that's like something I'm really working towards. That's one of my goals, as well as I really want to get into like comedy, because I just feel like I have such amazing stories of being in porn or adjacent stories, telling me things that happened to them. And I just feel like that there's like, you know, even all comedians tell sex jokes. Why? Because sex sells. So it's like, I'm the perfect person for this job,
Right. Right.
because I have real stories that are like crazy. And so I feel like that's where I want to go. And I always want to keep porn by my side, because porn is how I got to where I am. I am Riley Reid because of porn and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And everything I want to do, I want it to be embodied with me. I don't ever want it to feel like I'm like better than porn, because I'm not.
Right.
I am one with it, and I feel so grateful for it, and I feel really happy and blessed. And yeah, I love my relationship with the industry that I have.
Now, it's so funny you say that, because even if people don't know your name, they've most likely seen the meme. Like, they've seen the "you're gonna make me come" meme. Do you remember the first time that you saw that screenshot, like, being used in meme form? Like, did somebody send that to you?
I think the first one that I saw was the "oh fuck, you're gonna make," no, it was a "oh fuck, put it back in," and I think
Oh,
it was,
right. Yeah.
and I'm like, you're like pulling my hair, and I'm like this, and it's like like when my
Yeah.
card isn't working, "oh fuck, put it back in," or like that. Like it is really fun. Where I agree. If people don't know me, then they know me by a meme.
Yeah, it's so universal at this point, and I think I mean, you'll see it for any event that happens, and it's just
Yeah.
one of the
Have you
funniest
seen the
memes.
one where it's like the beach, but if you look closely, it's me?
Oh yeah. Yes, yeah. So
Yeah,
good.
that's like, it's so cool. I feel so lucky and I feel so grateful that I'm like, wow, the meme gods love me. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but thank you.
I love that.
That's
Now it
cool.
might be too far removed at this point, but do you remember what shoot or video that was actually from?
I was in Vegas shooting, and after I finished shooting it, I went to the EDC and tripped on acid.
Oh, nice. Do you remember it being in the script, or was that something that you just improv'd? Like,
No, I think that was just something I improved.
yeah, yeah.
Because he probably fell out, and I was like, "Oh fuck, put it back
Oh,
in."
that's so good. You've also dabbled in OnlyFans. Um, what is the most
Dabble a little bit.
what is the most unique request that you've ever received?
I think there's like two that stand out to me. There was one that was like really wholesome that I really liked, where
Okay.
he asked for what was called a Canadian striptease, which is where you put on layers. I had like 12 layers of clothes because he wanted it for me to act like I walked in the snow to come to his place. And I'm just taking off all of these layers of clothes.
Okay, that's awesome.
So
I love that.
that one I really liked because it was wholesome. And I was like, I've never done that before. And then another one where a guy wanted to pretend that I was eating him. So he wanted me to cook him and eat him.
I've heard of this, like giant, like you're a giant or something.
Yeah.
I've heard of the eating thing. The cooking thing is pretty funny. I haven't heard
Yeah.
that part of it.
Yeah, he had a whole recipe. He had the recipe and wanted me to cook him and then
That's
like
good.
serve him at a dinner table with all of my friends.
This is why I asked the question, though, because we need to know. So, in terms of content, you and Bonnie Blue have started working together.
Yes.
You guys have collabed on a few things. How did that partnership come about, and what's your favorite part of working with Bonnie?
Bonnie's like really cool. I think that she's just a really interesting individual. I find her really fascinating because of she told me a story of where she's banned from Australia. I don't know if you know this, where
Oh,
basically like her whole gimmick is that she goes to like spring breakers and gets these 18-year-old boys and gets them to film with her.
okay.
So apparently, I don't know if this is true, but like this is what I was told.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a bunch of parents who signed a petition to ban her from being able to come because she was, corrupting the youth boys there. And I thought this was horrible and sexist. And I was like, fuck you, Australia. What the fuck? How about all these 18-year-old girls who get like swindled into porn or stripping? And like, all this is legal. How come that's all fine? How come these porn companies exist? But Bonnie Blue can't come and fuck an 18-year-old boy who's consenting? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That's sexist and it's fucked up. And I think it's disgusting. I
Yeah.
don't like that the country did that. I think it's wrong and they shouldn't be allowed to do that. And I
Right.
think that if they're going to do that, then like they should do it so that all girls and boys 18 alike
Right.
aren't being seduced and corrupted. If you're going to say it's corrupted, then fine.
Right.
Then no one. Why is it just that the men? Why is Bonnie Blue being categorized as this like, predator? She's not
Yeah.
a predator.
Yeah.
Like the amount of men who do this and don't deal with what she's dealing with, I think that's wrong. I think it's fucked up and I think it's
Exactly.
terrible. I love what she does. I think she has a sexy accent. I think she's really interesting and I like how confident she is in her sexual appetite and herself and that she's proud and carries no shame with it. I think it's amazing. I really, really like it. I definitely think that there's parts that could be a bit extreme, but I
Yeah.
still think overall, I like her and she was so nice when we worked together. She was wonderful. She was so nice and really sweet. And I really enjoyed being with her on set.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's all I had. This was
Well, thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so much.
much.